RocSports back with another video. As you can tell by the title, this is a video on Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter fight. Now, recently they just got their fight made, and for somebody like me, this is, if we can't get Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, this is what I want. For both sides, like, it's fights like this is what I want. I want to applaud Terence and Shawn for getting the fight done, first and foremost, both of their teams, and, you know, both parties, PBC, Top Rank, you know, whatever. But at the same time, I'm not about to overly applaud them because these are the fights that we should be getting. We're putting our money into this as fans. This is the fights that we should get, period. So they doing what they're supposed to do. But again, shout out to both teams. But in terms of the fight, man, I'm so hyped for this fight. Especially considering when we just talk about the year in boxing, we haven't had no, you know, it's just been letdown after letdown. So this is what boxing needs right now, especially ending the year for when it's November 20th. And so we'll be fresh after Wilder and Fury, and I believe Canelo and them is before that. But we got AJ this weekend. So it's starting to pick up as the year is going on, well, as the year is ending. Fights are starting to pick up. We're starting to get some good fights. But I didn't think the fight was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to get made. Just because we've been down this road so many times in terms of with Terence Crawford. Now, I'm a Terence Crawford fan. I'm sincerely one of those people that Errol Spence was my favorite fighter before he fought Kell Brook. Before he fought Chris Algieri, I was put on to Errol Spence. And then I ended up, you know, just following his career. So he ended up becoming my favorite fighter. But I was already tuning into Terence Crawford too. So my point is, I was a fan of both of them well before it was even talks about any one of them fighting each other. And they just still happen to be my favorite fighters today. So I just up in front say right now, I'm picking Terence Crawford, but I don't know how the fight's going to go. I'll do that. I'll say that as the fight go on. I'll study the fight a little more. But man, this is everything. This is everything for me. I'm not one of those people though that thinks that Terence Crawford hasn't fought nobody, or he hasn't wanted to fight anybody. I really do think that he's been in like just a bad contract situation. That's what I think that he needs to be blamed for, is his contract and signing with Top Rank and stuff. But we got this fight done. He still should be done with Top Rank in my opinion, but we got this fight done, and this is the best opponent he has fought without question. So I didn't think the fight was going to get made simply because, again, we've been down this road with Terence Crawford and PBC fighters. That's what I mean by that. And, you know, it's just excuse after excuse from both sides. You know, not just Terence Crawford, but from PBC fighters and, you know, Top Rank side. But I didn't think it was going to get done just simply because of that. Because it seems as if there's no urgency from Terence Crawford and his camp in terms of fighting those guys, because it's kind of like they already know the answer. Like, that's how they look at it. But I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's how they look at it. But and then the little friend, you know, aspect of it. They claim that they was friends, which I think that they just, you know, they cordial with each other when they see each other, but I don't think that there was nothing, you know. But whatever. The fight is made now. So all that friend stuff is out the window now. We don't care what they do after this fight. The fight is made. Thank God. I mean, Shawn Porter, as we know, the ultimate dog. If you can put Shawn Porter in a lot of fighters, we will have a lot more champions. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be a lot more legends in the sports. This simply, he got it all in terms of intangibles. But Shawn is built for this. But he's a true dog. And Terence got that dog in him too, man. So that's why this fight is very interesting, because I don't know how this fight's going to play out. I really don't. Because I think it could play out so many different ways. I could see both fighters being tentative and having that respect early on. But I could also see just a full-out brawl, because Terence lately has been doing that. And it's not like Shawn's the biggest puncher, so I think that he wouldn't be that reluctant to trade with him early on. But at the same time, I could see, you know, tentative Terence Crawford. Sometimes Terence gets off to slow starts too. So it's a very interesting fight, man. But the height and the reach advantage for Terence, that's why I just think that he should just try to outbox him early on. I mean, it don't mean he's going to make adjustments. Terence Crawford is one of those fighters. But it's going to be real interesting, man, to really see how this play out. We also got Kenny Porter versus Bomac. That's interesting. I'm interested in seeing that. Kenny Porter gets a bad rap, in my opinion. I think he gets the best out of Shawn. Yeah, you could argue Shawn could be better with some technical things if he, incorporated another trainer, or if he left his father or whatever. But I think what Kenny offers to Shawn is very beneficial in many other aspects. In turn, if you can get where I'm going with it. It's a lot of good aspects for this fight, but this fight is huge. Terence Crawford can make a very, very, very big statement in this fight. If he goes in here and knock out Shawn Porter, or even just dominate Shawn Porter, drop him, just dominate him where it's a clear-cut win, and beat Shawn Porter the way he's never been beat, that's a statement. If he go in here and knock Shawn Porter out, obviously that's a statement. Man, but if he lose, it's going to be a lot of I told you so. I told you something. Like me, again, I'm a Terence Crawford fan. I think he's the goods. I think he's, if not the best, one of the top in the sport. But he has to win this fight. He has to win this fight. It ain't no way around it. He has to win this fight. And if he do win this fight and he beat him better than anybody else has done, that only makes the fight with Errol Spence that much bigger. For sure. But as Shawn Porter has proven, that's a big if. We looking down the road, talking about Errol Spence. Talking about this fight, this not a 50-50 fight for me, because I just think that Terence Crawford has a little too much in his arsenal for Shawn. And I think his IQ and what he, everything that he has in his arsenal, I think it would prevail. But I think he's going to make the necessary adjustments to beat Shawn. But I don't think it's a 50-50 fight, but I think it's, I don't want to say 45, maybe like 57-43, something like that. Like, legit. I think it's close, man. I think it's very close. I think Shawn definitely can win this fight. That's why I'm saying, if Terence Crawford try to come in here and prove a point, which he has that in him. Like, I want to prove everybody, I want to shut everybody up, and he want to come in here and try to run through Shawn Porter, he can be making a mistake. You know what I mean? He need to play chess with Shawn Porter and outthink him, to outpoint him. Shawn is going to come in there the same Shawn every time. We know that. He's going to try to smother Terence Crawford. He prevents some things that Terence Crawford hasn't seen. And the same for Terence. He got stuff that Shawn hasn't seen. But Shawn has that experience level of fighting in these type of big fights. So that doesn't mean that, he's going to win, but that means something for sure. That means something. Shawn has been in a ton of big fights on the biggest stages. So this is a Super Bowl fight for me. In terms of, yes, they're not going to sell this pay-per-view. This pay-per-view numbers are probably not going to be the best. I get all of that. I don't care about none of that. I'm strictly talking about the fight as a hardcore boxing fan. This is a banger fight. This is a banger fight. This is like a half level under if it was Errol and Terence to me. That's how big of a fight this is. So I'm excited. This is a big opportunity for both guys, because I don't know where Shawn's going to go if he loses this fight. Now, if he wins, obviously, he's right back in the mix. I mean, he's still in the mix now, but in terms of calling his own shots. If he loses, I don't know. I mean, Shawn's going to fight Jerron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz? I mean, it's not even guaranteed he will win those fights. So, I don't know. I would definitely wouldn't pick him against Boots. But, so both guys kind of need this W, man. This is a big, important fight, especially where they at in their careers, too. So, let's get ready, y'all. Let's build this fight up. Let's build this fight up, because they not going to build it. And, man, we finally got us a big one to end the year off. So, I got a couple more videos coming out this week on boxing. One of them would definitely be the Anthony Joshua Usyk prediction. And that fight's this weekend, and that's a pretty big fight. It's a lot at stake for that fight. So stay tuned for that. And week 2 breakdown, or recap to NFL week 2 coming soon. Stay tuned. This is RocSports checking out. All of my boxing, NFL, and NBA fans, like, share, and subscribe, man. Keep coming back. I'm going to be dropping more content.